All that and more next to Urbanized Update.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. Here's what we're working on. A Southern California tourist is safe and sound after being kidnapped in Uganda for ransom. Kimberly Endicott and her tour guide were taken by gunmen while in Ugandan National Park last week. The suspects used their hostages as cell phones to issue ransom demands. Initially said to be $500,000, both she and her guide were released safely in the Republic of Congo after security forces from Uganda rescued them. No word yet on whether or not the ransom or any part of it was paid.
It looks like there will be more vacancies at the Department of Homeland Security. On Sunday, Secretary Kristen Nelson was asked to resign. President Trump has been critical of her performance for some time, saying that he wants a more aggressive approach to keeping immigrants out of country. There are now reports that other key officials will be asked to leave. They include the head of the Citizen and Immigrant Service and General Counsel at the Department of Homeland Security. Another person who is out is the head of Secret Service, Randolph Elks. There report that the president was not happy with the recent security issue at Mar-a-Lago. That's the president's Florida getaway, where a woman from China breached security and was found to have hard drives and other questionable computer equipment with her, White claiming she was at the resort for a social event.
A suspected rhino poacher is dead. Apparently, an elephant attacked him, then lions devoured his body in South Africa. Only a skull and a pair of pants remained. Police say they arrested his 4 accomplices. They told authorities they carried his body to the road so that passerbys could find it in the morning. They notified the man's family and a search party was sent out to recover the body. President Donald Trump says he hopes to have a major new trade deal with China in the next 4 weeks. Trump anticipates meeting with Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to review the details. The U.S. wants China to buy more American agriculture and energy products. And it wants China to change its rules to make it easier for American businesses to operate in China. A Chinese company's ownership of a gay dating app is under investigation. The U.S. Treasury Department is looking into concerns over the Grindr app. Grindr employees say Chinese executives have proposed working with HIV researchers. As a result, employees are afraid that China would collect sensitive data on its 3 million daily users. Private information that includes a person's HIV status. Children of gay parents can now get baptized in the Mormon Church. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints repealed rules that banned such baptisms. In a statement posted online, church leaders described the changes as very positive policies for families. Children of gay parents can now undergo baptism if their parents give them consent and the children learn church doctrine.
We forget sometimes that sexual orientation is still a big issue in areas outside the Bay Area. I recently met with a fellow student who's been avoiding his family for many years because of a lifestyle he hadn't yet told them about.
昨天晚上是除夕，妈妈给你打电话你不接，你去哪儿了？
我昨天晚上因为太困了，所以我就睡着了。
真的吗？那我为什么凌晨还看到你在发朋友圈？你做什么都行，但你不能跟妈妈撒谎。
妈，行了，你别说了，我现在真的不想再听了，我挂了啊。
你这个什么态度？
Chi is a student at San Jose State University. He's an LGBTQ person. He went to a gay bar last night and spent time with his friends, but he cannot tell the truth to his mother. His parents want to know about his social life in America, and the deception has affected his relationship with them.
I haven't been home for 3 years. I guess I was just having a fear of talking to my parents. Each time I go back, they just keep asking me about my relationship and life goal. But they are just way too conservative and traditional to accept I was gay. So that's why I stayed here for almost 3 years. Recently, I have traveled a lot of places around the United States. Along the way, I have seen parents with their kids spending time together and enjoying their trip. This reminds me a lot of my family and bring back a lot of past memories of mine. I started to think about my parents a lot, and I decided to come back to China this summer to speak the truth and finally face the reality.
This is the bar where Chi likes to hang out. Although China accepts gay in society, but why are there still a lot of young LGBTQ people who don't want to go back to China? Well, the friend of Chi's, Jillian, has something to say about this.
In China, we have a policy called one-child policy, which basically just allow each family to have only one kid. As a LGBTQ person, it's definitely very hard for them to come out to their parents because they don't want to let them down.
In San Jose, I'm Chen Tongguo for your Urban Night Update. San Francisco has the largest LGBT community in the world.
The number of measles cases is continuing to go up. Just like week, federal officials say the number of new cases went up by almost 100. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention announced that this year there have been 465 cases in 19 states. 2 years ago, health officials had thought measles had been eradicated. These new cases result largely from people who believe that the measles vaccine has dangerous side effects, something that health experts say is not true. Seizures may be linked to the use of e-cigarettes. This claim is based on an investigation which the Food and Drug Administration says launched when it received over 35 reports of seizures. Even though the FDA says it's too early to know for sure, it suspects that nicotine-induced seizures could be a possible side effect of vaping. Although researchers have known that nicotine poisoning could cause seizures, the possibility is increasing with the popularity of vaping. People say crystals have a healing power, and judging by the crowd size at a recent crystal event, it seems many are believers. Our own Gonzalo Moreno also attended and has the story.
In a magical mix of crystals, beads, and the healing arts, the Crystal Fair brings the use of talismans and amulets, which dates back to the beginning of humankind, to a one-stop shop in San Francisco.
We get to see so many different kinds of stones and all the beauty that Mother Earth has to offer. And what I sell mostly are components for making jewelry, not so much for holding in your hands or a pocket, but something that you can make into a piece. I have faceted stones that can get put into jewelry, or things like this moonstone that can also get made into a pendant or a bracelet or something like that. It's really interesting to see when stones show up in the marketplace and then they go away. And what that reminds us is that even though this is all beautiful bounty from Mother Earth, we do have to do some destruction to pull those earth stones out of the earth, and sometimes they go away and we use them up. So just like anything, it's something that we as humans mine and use as a resource. It's not renewable, so we should always appreciate what we have, because sometimes I look for stones that I saw back in the 90s and I can't find them anymore. It takes 2 tons of earth to produce 1 carat of gem quality diamond. You get a whole lot of other diamonds that you can use for diamond bits, diamond saws, diamond blades, junky material that you can use for other things. But for the gem quality diamond, 2 tons of earth have to be processed. So it's good to remember when we're working with stones that she's giving us her bounty. We shouldn't take it for granted.
Crystals, minerals, and energy healing. Believe it or not, the San Francisco Crystal Fair has got a packed house. From novice to experts, meditation practices to decor, all walks of life are enjoying the beautiful gifts that Mother Nature has to offer us. One booth, Aurology, captures the electromagnetic energy field that surrounds people. Auras are subtle bodies that exist around the physical body with its own unique frequency.
What I'm going to have you do is put your hand on this sensor, and we're gonna put it on your lap. So get comfy. We track it with a camera. Some people are able to see auras with their naked eye, but this is like, there's a little bit of science behind doing it this way because we're picking up on your electromagnetic field.
Some believe auras also affect a person's feelings, emotions, and overall health.
It picks up on energies that you are emitting from your meridian point, and we're using the sensor to pick them up on your hand through your acupressure points. So that's why I say that there's like a little bit of science behind it. So all I'm doing is helping you interpret the colors. So there's a little bit of studying what the colors mean, but there's also some interpretation that happens. 3, 2, 1. When we look at auras, we analyze them 2 different ways. One is that this is your masculine side, so that's what you put out into the world, and this is your feminine side, so that's what you are open to receiving. But when we see like an overarching color like this, it really means that you're sort of like in a moment in your life right now. And because there's a lot of green in it, that is like harmony and healing and peace. And then over here, blue, we see that on your feminine side, so that's what you are open to receiving. And blue is like loyalty, it is the truth seeker. And we see some yellow on top of your face. When we see colors on top of the face, we really see that as like that's your mask to the world. That's how you present yourself out into the world.
Whether or not you believe in auras and crystal energy, these practices have been around for centuries and are now making their way to the modern world. I'm Gonzalo Murno, and this was an Urban Nights Update.
Millennials may be less religious, but they are just as likely to be as spiritual as their elders, making them believe in crystal power.
If you are not a morning person but love breakfast in the afternoon, brunch is the thing for you. Grant Winston visited Toast Eatery for this week's Urban Nights Review.
Welcome to Urban Nights Update. This week's review will be going to Toast Eatery, a brunch spot that I always go to. And it's very good. I always take people that's visiting San Francisco out there to experience some great brunch. So let's go ahead and check out the good food they got. Toast here, they're open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. As it says on the menu is pretty good, very artistic. Now a lot of brunch spots have this type of artistic type of feel. You see where it's a small place that it's usually packed, but today's not.
To go, right?
Yes, to go.
We'll be here in about 10 minutes.
Alright, thank you. So the service is very respectful. It's very quick, very efficient service, and I really like the food right here. I've got the orange cheese on it, and we're gonna see what it looks like. Got my check. Not very bad for a cheese omelet. It's only like $10.50. Comes to my total is $11.39, so it's a very, very affordable place to eat, in my opinion. We got our food, and this is what we got. Our omelet, and we got some bread with it. Yeah. Nice omelet meal. Get you a free ketchup packet. Not bad at all. So that was Toast Eatery. I hope you guys liked the review. This is Grant Swain with your Urban Nights Update.
Thanks, Grant. For this week's special segment, we are looking at Anthrofort atom. But it's not what you think. Dyeing eggs on Easter is symbolic of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and for most people, it's just an Easter tradition. Ashley Pollock shows us how to dye eggs.
Hello everyone, for this week's special segment, I will be teaching you how to dye eggs. I know for most people, you like to dye eggs on Easter, and Easter's coming up, so let's get to it. The first thing that you're going to need is this white distilled vinegar. I also have 6 boiled eggs here, already boiled, and then I'm using the Color Cups by POS, and you can get this for $2.99 at your nearest Target or Walgreens. And then here's the 5 color cups. It comes with the 5 beads, Also has a wax crayon to draw onto the egg, and then a little tool here that will help you dunk the eggs in the dye. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up the vinegar and we're going to pour it till it gets to the one that's on the cup. After you've added the vinegar, the water, and the activated dye pill, it's now time for the fun part, which is dyeing the eggs. I'm gonna dunk my first egg here. My favorite color is pink, so I'm gonna dunk it in the pink one first. So the longer you keep the egg in the dye, the more vibrant the color will be when it's finished. So for the blue one here, I'm just gonna use my hands to dip it in the green. I know my fingers will end up probably green, but that's okay. This is how my eggs turned out. I tried to use the crayon, but it didn't really work out well. So this is my final product. That's all I have for you guys on this week's special segment. I'm Ashley Pollock, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter Sunday.
Just in time for Easter. Thanks, Ashley. Let's take a look at what's going on in the world of entertainment. Welcome to your E-News update. Warner Brothers just released the first trailer on Wednesday for its highly anticipated film, The Joker. The film is centered around DC Comics villain, The Joker, who is played by Joaquin Phoenix.
What kind of coward would do something that cold-blooded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
The film is scheduled to release later this year. Kodak Black is under fire after a video of him circulated making questionable comments about Lauren London.
Lauren London, that baby though, she finna be out here single. She finna be a whole widow out here. I'd be the best man I could be, fuck.
And for those of you who don't know who Lauren London is, she is now the widow of rapper Nipsey Hussle, the famous LA rapper who was gunned down just over a week ago. Rest in peace to Nipsey. The video of Kodak, which surfaced on Saturday, was followed shortly after with another video of Kodak apologizing for his remarks towards the rapper's then wife.
If I disrespected you, Lauren London, in any shape or form, I'm sorry. Even though I didn't. And rest in peace to dude. Y'all already know what I said. I said dude encouraged me to do for the community. But anyhow, my bad to them too. But for all you other people like trying to fake act like y'all love boying me on the internet or checking me on the internet, that's how you feel, bro. That's how y'all want to feel.
Whether or not the rapper's apology was sincere is now also in question. Moving forward, Disney Nature is releasing its film Penguins just in time for Earth Day. The film is about an Adelie penguin named Steve. He joins millions of fellow males in search of a life partner and a quest to build a suitable nest.
Antarctica. Home to the deadly leopard seal. The mighty killer whale. And Steve.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder.
A gentleman who stands out from the crowd.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
he's looking for love.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse.
He likes long walks on the beach,
I was dreaming.
fishing, and collecting rocks.
Dreaming about being a big star.
Catch Steve next Wednesday in theaters to find out if he finds his soulmate. This week's studio interview is with Pam Uzel, film director, producer, and university instructor. Hi, I'm here with Pam Uzel, an instructor at the Academy of Art University. Welcome, Pam, and congratulations on your new film. Can you tell us a little more about the documentary?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, and thank you for having me here. My film is called Welcome to the Neighborhood, and it's a story about a multi-generational influential family in Berkeley, just across the bay. And the mother was a really notable social activist and leader in the community, and her daughter is Mildred Howard, a world-renowned artist who's done a lot of community art, public art here that people would be familiar with in the Bay Area. It's also, in a larger sense, the story of Berkeley and what's happening to not only Berkeley, but a lot of our cities in the Bay Area with the housing crisis.
Nice. My understanding is that we have a clip of the film. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Mabel Howard was legendary. When I think about her daughter, Mildred, she has some of those same traits. She's willing to kind of go where other people are not willing to go.
In thinking about my mom, I think about how her contributions have been erased from history, as if she didn't exist.
I think we're in the process of going down a really slippery slope. Now we're no longer that liberal place that we say we are.
There's a huge gap, I think, in the Bay Area between the way that we think of ourselves and the way that we actually are. The optics of diversity, the picture of diversity, sort of as the way the Bay Area is, right? We're all multicultural here. And the reality of resegregation that's been happening.
Good evening, everyone. I am from South Berkeley, lived in South Berkeley for over 60 years. The neighborhood I've grown up in has changed, and it surely doesn't represent equity. It doesn't represent diversity. It doesn't represent anything that I grew up thinking that the city represented.
We often talk about resegregation in terms of gentrification. Those of us who live in the city, that's how we see it. That's how we see resegregation happening. And gentrification, though, is a frame that's too small. It centers the money that's moving into the city, and it actually erases the people who are being pushed out of the city.
Bye, bro. You gotta get out of here? Huh? You gotta get out of here?
Yeah, must be.
Thank you.
Some questions about the film. What was your biggest challenge while filming Welcome to the Neighborhood?
Well, when you're an independent documentary filmmaker, the biggest challenge is always funding, honestly. But beyond that, it would be interesting, actually, for me to say what the challenge wasn't, because the mother, we didn't see much about Mabel Howard, the mother, but she was so beloved by the community. Sometimes it's hard to get people to agree to talk to you, but everybody wanted to see a documentary made about Mabel Howard. So I want to bring that up because that was opened so many doors for me.
Nice. How did you find the story?
I lived in South Berkeley, which is the neighborhood that's really being highlighted here, as well as all of Berkeley. And I was on a neighborhood walking tour, and I ran into the artist, the daughter Mildred Howard, on this walking tour. And I said, I'd really like to make a film about South Berkeley. And she started telling me about her mom. One of the things her mom did was that she's the person responsible for getting BART underground in Berkeley. She brought a lawsuit against BART to keep it from dividing the African-American neighborhood of South Berkeley with above-ground tracks. And I just thought it was an amazing story. I thought, well, I don't know this, but I bet lots of relative newcomers don't know this either, and we should. She should be like a household name in Berkeley. So I just became fascinated with her. And at the same time, I started realizing that Berkeley was really changing and that the demographics were changing and a lot of people were being pushed out.
Wow, that's very interesting. See, I didn't know that personally, that she brought or helped bring Bart underground.
Yeah.
And I catch Bart quite often.
Yes, yes.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us, Pam. And that's it for this week's entertainment. So, back to you, Xuantang.
Thanks, Danny and Pam. Now we are pleased to present this week's musician as part of Tuesday Tunes, a weekly feature on Urban Nights Radio. Now meet up-and-coming musician Hala Dublé.
Hala Dublé, make some noise for her.
You got me feeling, you's a blessing from above, you got me healing. How I'm feeling, so I'ma write you a song, got me dreaming of your love.
My name is Holly DeLeon Argente, and I go by Hala Dublé. I'm 28 years old, and I've been rapping for 12 years. What got me into rapping, my brother would make music, him and his friends, and I looked up to him, so I wanted to try it, and that's what got me into it. My motivation behind my music, I would say it is what I'm going through, how I'm feeling at the time. It's definitely my mom, because that's what gives me passion in everything that I write, because I always think to myself, would she like it? Because not everyone's gonna agree with my style and what I write, but I just know that she will, so.
I'm fazed by the way I'm behaving, a usual positive moment. I swear she truly beautiful, my vision I'm clearing, my eyes are swipe. As I look directly into the light, I never thought I'd have a chance at this. Since the day you left, I continuously missed your one-of-a-kind style. You sang, you smile, your thought, your voice said I respect God's choice to take you up where you need to be. Though it's not with me, I'm so glad you're free. Your passion shut me up like the 89 Quake. Mind, give me a break. I was only 8, but as we sitting here face to face, instantly we tie together, yeah, like a shoelace. I have endless love for you. Believe it's true when all hope's gone, Mom. I know I'll always have you. Now put your hands up. Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Let's put it up. Let's put it up for my mother who's flying high in the heavens. They make her recipe pleasant. Let's go. Yeah, now put your hands up and rock with me. The blade written, get it poppin' to this knock and beat. Let's put it up for my mother who's flying high in the heavens. That made her recipe pleasant. Fan, we had a plan, but things changed, I find it strange. And I'm able to look forward to a total view on my life without the one, the only ESP. I hope you know our praise day for all of us to be okay. Even with it gone, the thought of letting see me down just ain't right. Her baby girl moving on just might be the sight of what's next in my life. I'm through with being brought down. How I'm feeling is the sound y'all about to hear. So don't let it in and out your ear, cause it's real, it's deep, it's me, it's Holly. Speaking from the heart, no one can tear us apart. You're my mother, I ain't ashamed of you. Got brain, got game, cause you truly blessed, just look like you. Don't ever think you're not ever in my mind. It was a privilege to call a mother like you mine. Hands up, put your hands up and rock with me. Move your hips with tip, dip, then do the Nathan. Go Nathan, jump, jump. ARGENTE, holla, North Cali residents, coastal we go. Then toast to my baby while we grew to the melody. So blessed to live a life so sweet, man, life is sweet. Mommy, I just wanna let you know that I'm always thinking of you. Be you to the fullest in every way. Close my eyes as I would say that you're always in my mind.
Hi everybody, I am Noah Daniels and I was a judge last season on Academy's Got Talent Season 2, and I'm also program director here at Urban Nights Radio, and I am probably one of Hala Dublé's biggest fans for many reasons. I love that she is so true to herself and true to her music and true to the Bay Area, and I've seen her grow as an artist to a place where I can't even explain how proud I am. She truly has found her voice and the confidence to perform exactly how she is in real life on stage, and I think that that's really rare to find an artist, especially nowadays when people are really just out for clout. So.
I was actually presenting, it was for a class that I was taking, and I would talk about how I like to do music And so at the end of my speech or presentation, I should say, someone was like, well, let me hear you spit. And I was like, oh, and then my teacher was like, well, she wants to hear you spit. And so I did it, and when I was walking back to my seat, they told me that like, you should be part of our show. So it's changed just everything on me being heard, because people pay more attention to me. They're more aware of, oh, she writes music, and not only do I do music, but I write my own music. And so that's what's catching their attention, and being on that show was just, not only did I catch attention from other people, the audience, but people from around school. In the next 10 years, I would like to see my music just impacting other students or other people or just everyone. Because no, I don't want to be rich and famous, but I do want to be heard. I feel like my music has a good message to it, and the melody, and it's relatable. People can find my music on my SoundCloud at Holla Double, and that's HOLLADOUGHBLE.
Hey, come on. I'm lifted, I'm gifted, I'm living it up, baby. I'm coming from the heavens above. Triple A on cloud nine, so high. The I reside on the west side. CALIFORNIA. Yeah, so we do it in the bay. We go crazy, man. Holla la la. Holla double, double trouble, baby. No, it's never too late. I'm blessedly beautiful with a heart of a lion. Devoted to money, be rolling, be flowing, Patrona. And I know I would never think that I was better if I didn't know for sure that all the dough that I hold was some hard work or hustle. But till I stay humble, I've crumbled. And now I have been all seeing now, and I'm on my way up. We on the way up. If
you want it, you gotta go get it.
You gotta go get it.
I told them I would, and don't forget it. And now they know that I meant it.
So remember that name, Holla Double. You saw her here first.
That wraps up this edition of Urban Nights Update. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Danny Galvez.
I'm Chuan Tongguo. See you back next time.